I am so excited for today. Okay, everyone, Facebook friends, and everyone who's here with me, thank you. Happy Monday. What an awesome way to launch this week. I cannot tell you how excited I am. For those of you who do not know John Mendez, he is the #1 AI coach. When I met him, he was the #1 AI realtor. You knew about AI before I even knew what it was. You've been teaching it. So I am just so excited. Thank you for your time this morning and thank you for meeting with me.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited to be here as well. I was really looking forward to this call. I do a lot of podcasting and interview stuff, but like today's special. We got a big announcement. We got some exciting stuff, and I can't wait to get into our conversation.
That'd be awesome. Okay, so for everyone who doesn't know the one, the only, the John Mendez, God, I've learned so much from you already. Tell a little bit about like who is John? What is your story? How did you get into this whole teaching AI? Because for me, I think AI just know ChatGPT and that's it. I'm not tech savvy to save my life. And you've been schooling people on this before it was even a thing. So how did this kind of get started?
Yeah, so it's actually an interesting story. I got licensed as a realtor a little over 4 years ago now. And it's actually about to be 4 years. I got my license. My birthday is September 2nd. I remember I passed the test, I think the day after my birthday. It was a Friday. And I remember because at that time I didn't have a car. And so I had to take the bus from New York to Connecticut, like two buses, I think, directly to my restaurant because I had a dinner shift that night. And I was so excited because again, that was my birthday weekend. I just passed my real estate exam after the third try, and I was about to work a dinner shift. And then after the dinner shift, I was gonna clock out and have a great time. Um, so I got licensed, and my original mindset was I want to get my average price point here is about 800,000. And so I was thinking at that time, 20 years young, I just got my real estate license. I sell a couple houses a year, and I'm balling. I'm living great, and I still live with my grandparents. So, at that point in time, all I needed was a couple houses, and that would have been life-changing money to me. So that's how I got into like the real estate business. Long story short, I started joining a bunch of free real estate groups. One of them asked me to teach a class on social media just for the simple fact that I was young. And I was like, all right, let's do it. First class ever, had over 440 agents sign up for it. That kind of kickstarted the whole teaching thing, started teaching more classes. And my original game plan was, I mean, you're in real estate, so you know I just got literally text today, a very generic templated, hey, I'm your realtor partner in X city text, right? No value at all. And I was like, if I keep teaching these social media classes, I'm gonna build the largest referral network ever because I'm not providing, the generic fluffy templated, hey, pick me for this city text that most realtors are sending out. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna teach social media classes to build my referral network. And that was the original game plan. That's why I started teaching, and that's why I kept doing the classes after the first one. Long story short, I met with a coach around 2022, and he was like, John, you're doing all these things. You're doing the real estate, the classes, you have a podcast too, and you're working at a restaurant. None of them are working out the way you wanted because you're too distracted. Why don't you just pick one and focus? And so
Mm.
that's why I decided to go all in on the teaching business. And at the time, it was social media, right? And then in November 30th, ChatGPT came out of 2022. A couple weeks after that, I had already started using it for my podcast, just for like little simple things, come up with show titles and episode descriptions. And then in January of 2023, I used ChatGPT to create a webinar on how to use ChatGPT. And that blew up. And all my classes up to that time were free. That class itself was also free, but at the end, I did something different. I sold spots to a workshop, and I remember like it was yesterday. It was so cringy and awkward because I never sold anything before. And I was like, hey, I got like 20 spots. If anyone's interested, is it 197? Like, if you want, here's the link. So awkward, tripping over my words. And I remember in 24 hours, I sold out. And that was the first time me ever selling anything. And that was about also 3-ish months of worth of me working at the restaurant. And that's when I realized like, hey, I could actually turn this into a real legitimate business. And so I like to say I think I was the first person to teach a chat GPT class for realtors specifically.
Right.
And after that, that pretty much kickstarted everything. I never looked back since. So it's been about going on 3 years now since I started teaching AI for realtors.
Wow. And you were able to buy your time back with that awkward little moment of let's bring some value. I love that
Yeah.
you specialize in real estate because realtors, I mean, we really don't know how to use it, and we need leverage, we need help, we need support. So you've gone on and you've brought so much value. And then, as I feel like you're an old soul, as being someone so young, you're already such a leader, and you're already giving back and teaching and training and getting in front of people, and somehow getting in front of the right people and getting in the right rooms has landed you. I've seen it. It's incredible. I can't wait to share it. A TEDx talk. Like, what did
Yeah.
you, how did that happen?
Yeah,
That's
so
huge.
funny story. So around that time when I taught that first chat GPT class, again, I was still going with the podcast. I think at that point in time we had already crossed, I think we're about to cross or getting close to crossing 100 episodes. So the podcast is all about like entrepreneurship, my journey, right? As I got into entrepreneurship. So completely unrelated to real estate or AI or any of that stuff. It's more of a purpose project. But at that point in time, I went to a conference. I had my first ever speaking gig. It was on actually Ikigai, which is like a Japanese concept for how to find your purpose. And I can get in depth into that. That's a whole nother conversation. But long story short, my first ever in-person speaking gig was at a conference in front of a little over 200, 250 people talking about this concept called Ikigai. Remember at that conference, I met with this one dude and they were talking about how they help people land TEDx talks. I paid like almost 9 grand for a pretty much a coaching program to help land that talk. Ended up not really following through on what I needed to land something. Fast forward almost 2 years later, one of my buddies, he was like, this is like Q3 2024. He's like, he's a public speaking coach. And he was like, hey, John, one of my clients was like, hey, I want to land a TEDx talk. And so instead of helping him, I thought, why not just host one? And so my buddy decided to become a TEDx organizer. All
Wow.
right. And so he was doing a TEDx talk in my hometown. He let me know. I applied and I got the TEDx talk. And so it's funny because again, I paid a lot of money for that accelerator program, only for me to just have a best friend that is who was an organizer and landed. So it's one of those things where in entrepreneurship, you never know where things will take you or how things will play out. But long story short, that's how I landed the talk. And since then, it released in February, if I'm not mistaken. February it dropped, and I have just under 75,000 views now on YouTube.
Oh my gosh. It's like 2 years ago, you really put it out in the universe, and then somehow it just, how do you just never?
Exactly, yeah. And the cool thing is like now, I mean, I know what it takes to land a TEDx talk, and I've already landed one before. So now I plan. There's a couple more. I definitely still want to do a talk on Ikigai. I think that definitely helps. So I want to do that. But I think there's another AI talk that I kind of want to put into the works. I'm trying to title. I think I'm gonna title it the four horsemen of the AI apocalypse, and kind of talk about like the big four mistakes I'm seeing, like not just real estate agents, but everyone you do when it comes to using AI. So that's in the works right now. But I'm glad I landed that first one. It kind of it's like the 4 minute mile for me, right? I landed the first one. I know I could do it. It went well. And now just in the future, when I have some more time to put into it, I'll do another one or two.
Oh, it's so exciting. Okay, so you're talking about mistakes and different things about AI. For me, I feel like there's a lot of, nervousness around it's too complicated, or it's going to take people's jobs, or it's going to replace me. There's a lot of, negativity around AI, even though it's saved me so much time and brain power, I feel like. What are a lot of common misconceptions that you see because you're kind of in that world that realtors or people in general have on AI?
Yeah, I think one of the first big misconception about AI is that AI isn't coming to save you. Like it's not the silver bullet. A lot of people are treating AI like it's this lottery ticket. Like if I just start using AI in my business, I'm gonna start selling 20 houses a month and life is gonna be great. I'm gonna have, my calendar's gonna be wide open because AI is gonna, and it's like, not at all, right? If you don't have a great business model already in play, in motion, AI is not going to do anything to change that, right? If you suck at business, you will continue to suck at business. You'll just save a lot of time while doing it, right? That's how AI kind of works. So that's the first big misconception that I see a lot of people doing is again, they're trying to treat it like it's this lottery ticket. Like once I start and once I figure it out, right? It's just all going to magically come together. It's like, no, learn the business, understand the business, get well at the business, and then add AI to to the mix. And that's like kind of like the rocket fuel, but it's not the rocket, right? It's not the vehicle. It is just the fuel to help you get to where you're going. So that's probably the first big one, right? And I'll give you two more. All right. The second big one I see, right, is a lot of people are trying to use AI to clone or duplicate themselves. And I remember I came to the realization this year, like if you think about it, if you can get an AI tool, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, Gemini, whichever one, HeyGen, whatever tool you want to use, right? If you can get an AI tool to sound like you, to write like you, to think like you, to talk like you, and no one can tell the difference, well then AI can duplicate you, right? And if AI can duplicate you and no one can tell the difference, that means it also can replace you. And a lot of agents don't realize that they're selling like the nail to their own coffin by trying to get these AI tools to pretty much become carbon copies of themselves. It's like you go do that, and if it's between hiring somebody and paying them thousands of dollars to work with them, or using an AI tool that's available 24/7, that doesn't take sick days or paid time off, that again talks, writes, sounds, and thinks and looks just like you, why would anyone ever hire an agent or any business owner at that? I think it's a service-based business owner at that matter. It's like, well, I can just get AI for free or $20 a month, right? If you use ChatGPT. So that's the second biggest misconception. Is like trying to get AI to sound like you is a good thing. No, right? Think of AI like a personal assistant, not like a replica, right? Personal assistant, you're not hiring to become and run the whole business for you. It's like, hey, I just need a little bit of leverage. What can you help me with that I don't want to do? What can I take off of my plate? And that's how people should be using Chat GPT. And the third one, I'll give it to you. I'll make this one a little quick. The third big misconception I see when it comes to using AI tools is they're trying to, like, I seen this one course, it was like 28 days of AI, and each day they went over a new AI tool that you could use in your business. And
Wow.
it's like most agents, from what I've seen, are probably not even using their own CRM to their full extent.
Right.
Now you're going to go on and add 30 more tools to the mix. Like you don't need a complicated tech stack. Simplicity scales. So I use maybe I pay for about four or five different softwares. Um, and only like maybe two or three of them are AI specific, right? I have a social media schedule I use. I have a tool that I use for to create content. I have a Zoom subscription, and a couple more. But aside from that, like AI tools, there's only like two or three dedicated AI tools that I use because most of them, one, they're all overlapping anyways, because they all release new features and they're all kind of similar. But then two, it's like, why would I have all these subscriptions? Because now I have to remember which ones I'm paying for and which one I'm not, and which one does this and which one does that, and yada yada yada. So like stop overcomplicating your tech stack when it comes to AI. Most of these tools are really good already. Just get good at a couple, whatever one works well for you or is more convenient for you to use. Like if you have a Microsoft Office account, Copilot might be better to use than ChatGPT. Why? Just because it's already embedded into Microsoft Office, right? It's not that it's better or worse, it's just more convenient. So like stop trying to overcomplicate the whole tech stack. Keep it simple and that'll work magic for everyone.
So realtors love shiny objects. We've got like we always, want everything. We sign up for everything. We execute on none of it. We've got all the ideas and then nothing ever happens. We swipe our credit card too quickly. So specific to real estate, what
Yeah.
are realtors really missing out on when it comes to AI? Like what's something that you coach on or you train on or you've seen that we could implement today that would actually be a good ROI for us?
Yeah, the best thing that you could learn to do when it comes to AI is just be creative. A lot of people always ask me, "Hey John, what can I use AI for?" A better question to ask is, "What can't you use AI for?" Because that list is starting to become shorter and shorter and shorter because you could just use it for almost literally every part of the business now, right? And so just being creative is going to allow you to really utilize ChatGPT or any of these AI tools to the fullest potential because you're gonna be thinking, all right, how can I add this to this? Or how I'm working on a client appreciation event. How can I use AI for this? I'm working on that, doing a listing presentation. How can I use AI to scripts practice? Like there's all these things that I've done and have videos recording going through how to do. But all that stuff I found out just by being creative, right? And thinking outside the box. Like, hey, I'm working on this. Let me see if AI can help or not. Right. And by doing that, you're going to get the best ROI because one, you're going to become more familiar with the tools that you're already using. But then two, you're gonna start to see through lines, right? Hey, I use AI for this, I use AI for that. Well, I never thought of this before, but I could also use AI for X, Y, Z. And now you're gonna start, your brain is gonna start piecing together different ways in your business where you can start integrating and implementing AI to make everything so much more streamlined and so much more efficient.
That's awesome. I know after your class, I was like, not only do I have my whole year's worth of content for social media, and I finally got an Instagram because I had to. I'm old. I just had Facebook. But it's one of those things you know is not going away. You've got to do it. But you're like, I'm a lead generator. I'm a mom. I'm a negotiator. An inspector sometimes. Like you're all these things. I'm a marketer and social media pro, and that's almost impossible. But to go through your class and have a whole year's worth of content and then be able to schedule it out for months in advance and not have to worry about it, it's that for me was a game changer. So that's incredible. Okay, so you've blown my mind so far. I've learned so much from you, and the moment that I'm just like so excited to tell everyone that it has been a dream of mine since I met you. I was like, oh my God, this guy is so cool. He's tech savvy. He checks all the boxes. He'd be a dream business partner. When I met you, I was like, how are you not already with us? But I found out that you were not at eXp Realty, and we talked. We you talked to Tony. You talked to all these different people. You did a lot of research. So I would love to be the first to publicly announce you. Drum roll, please. John Mendez officially last week joined eXp Realty. He's going to be an official business partner, a shareholder. You're going to be an amazing mentor and coach and trainer. And I'm just like mind blown. Like life, it's just I can't. We're going to do so many things together. How did this happen? How did it come apart? Like you could be anywhere because you teach from anywhere and you teach to all different brokerages. Why? Why? How? Tell me all the things.
Yeah, so there's this story that I heard that best summarizes my answer, and then I'll get into the some personal reasons why. But it was like a grandpa and his daughter, right? And a grandpa gifted this daughter a car. The car looked pretty beat up, pretty old, right? And he was like, "Go take this to the dealership and let me know what they give you in terms of the value that you can sell it for, right?" And then she goes to the dealership, and the dealership was like, "Oh, we could give you like maybe like $5,000 for it." So girl comes back to her grandpa and said, "Grandpa, like they said they'll give me 5,000." Grandpa's like, "Okay, cool. Go to the old scrapyard and see like how much they'll give you for it." So the girl takes the car over to the scrapyard, and the guy is like, "Hey, this car is pretty old. It's pretty beat up. Maybe we could give you at best like $500 or so." Girl comes back to her grandpa. "Hi, Grandpa, these guys said they're giving me a lot less. They said they'll only give me like $500 or whatever." And he was like, "All right, no worries. There's this car meetup going on later this week. I want you to take the car there and let me know what they'll say." Takes the car, same car, to this car meetup, and they tell her that she has an old antique car, right? One of those super valuable old cars, right? And they'll be willing to give her 100,000 for it, right? And so the girl goes back to her grandpa, "Grandpa, listen, they said they'll give me 100,000." And the grandpa told her about the car and all, why it's worth is what it's worth, whatever. And that it's one of those rare cars that are hard to find. And the whole story, the lesson behind that story is like you could have the same thing, but if it's in a wrong place, you'll never be valued what you're truly worth, right? And it's a deep story because self-worth is something that a lot of people struggle with, especially in this entrepreneurship journey, especially in this real estate journey, right? We're charging our worth, right? We dictate our own prices. And so like it could be hard to kind of figure out what to charge, especially when you're doing it for the love of the game, right? When you just love helping people, it also makes it even harder to charge because it's like, well, I want to help more people. And so it's like, but also, IOUs and thank yous don't pay bills. It's like, what's the fine medium, right? And so I started teaching, and it was always my own business, right? I just happened to be licensed with KW, because that's where I got my real estate license. That's where I was an active agent at, and then I pivoted into this whole teaching thing. But I was always teaching for, whatever brokerage came my way, like KW, a lot of mom and pop brokerages, and wherever I could honestly get speaking engagements. And then when it came to EXP specifically, um, I gave two talks with some of the people here in Connecticut, right? I gave one in January, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then it wasn't really until I met you that I even considered switching over. And the reason why it's like every now and then you'll God put people in your life that you just instantly connect with, right? And it's crazy because I met you because someone tagged me on your Facebook post, and I decided to, instead of just commenting like everyone else, I think there was already like 10 comments or something like that. I looked up your number on Google, right? Because I know all realtors are always on Google. Gave you a call, instantly hit it off. We connected. I think 3 weeks later, I was on a flight to Houston to come speak for your the Houston Alliance event that you had going on, the AI Advantage. And then from there, had a great time. Everyone was welcoming. And then I remember getting a call with you and Tony, and I'll be totally honest with you. On that call, I was like, I have no intention of switching. My business is completely independent. I'm not tied to any brokerage, right? There's no point in me switching. And I listened to what you guys had to say, and honestly, I wasn't really interested because you guys were talking about like, revenue share and all this stuff. And me in my head, I was just like, I'm only worried about growing my coaching business. That is it. Right.
Right.
Where is the best opportunity for that? And so that was back in April. Fast forward to July, it was just, I seen a couple things and I was just like, you know what? Again, back to that whole car dealership story, right? I could be going, I've been for a long time feeling like I've been having to convince people of AI and then convince people to work with me. Right? I could just go to a place where they're already convinced of tech. And then all I have to do is convince them that I'm the guy to help. But when you try to convince people of two or more things, the conversions start to drop. And so I was just like, well, why don't I stop? Let me stop trying to convince people to use AI. Let me go to the where the people are already embracing it, but just need some help and guidance in the right direction. And so the last week of July, I taught a workshop here in Connecticut. And I was like, you know what? I want to revisit that conversation. And so, long story short, we revisited the conversation, and I like to hit the iron while it's hot, right? And I'm someone there's a saying like rich people are quick to make decisions and slow to change them. Uh, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I like to say that I make decisions like a quote unquote rich person. So like, once I was in my heart to make this change, I was like, all right, screw it. Let me hit up Amanda. We got on the phone. I told you what I wanted to do, and you told me the next steps. And that same day, I got on it right after the call. By that weekend, the transfer was already in place, and then by that following Monday or Tuesday, the transfer was official.
So quick, such a dream. Oh my gosh. And it's so customized to you, right? Like some people join for certain, I need to double my production, or I need the stock, or I need the rev share. You were like, I want the audience, I want the expansion, I want the people who are thinking like me, and I want the coaching clients. And it's such an awesome platform. And we're just so incredibly blessed to get to work with you. I know that you're open to coaching pretty much anywhere in the United States and Zoom wise anywhere in the world. I mean, you can
Yeah.
help so many people. You're so talented at what you do. And your email campaigns are
Yeah.
beautiful. If someone from, eXp or even another brokerage, if they're in a position where they're like, man, I really need to capitalize on this AI, I need to reach out to this John Mendez guy. I need to be in his world because I'm telling you, his energy is magnetic. It's just, I've learned so much. What's the best way for people to kind of reach out to you to be able to build with you?
Yeah, the best way to reach out to me is if you go to my website, there's a little piece that says hire me to speak. If you just click on there, that'll take you to a little calendar link, and then you could just find a time with me, and we can hop and talk about what it is that you have envisioned for your, whether it's your office, your conference, your lunch and learn, whatever it may be. And then how I could be a piece to help facilitate that. I like to like this whole I've hosted my own events, and I know how hard it is to plan and hope that you get someone good and that goes with the event. And the biggest thing when it comes to hiring speakers is like a lot of people try to save money, and then they find out that some people aren't also great speakers. I feel like as a speaker, you also have to be an entertainer. There's a lot more to speaking just outside of the actual content that you're talking about, right? You have to be engaging and captivate the audience and make sure that you make the event organizers look amazing. And because at the end of the day, that's all an event organizer want. They want them to look good so that people continue coming back to the events. So long story short, stop and stare media /speak, or just go to stop and stare media and then click on the hire me to speak part. And then we can hop on the call and talk about what your vision is for your event and how I can help make that come true. Again, I'm open to speaking anywhere in the country. I'm also fluent in Spanish. I've done a couple classes in AI in Spanish. I need to start promoting that more because
You.
I'm born and raised Dominican and Guatemalan, born and raised in a Dominican household. So like I only speak Spanish at home. So I'm fluent in both. I just don't market as much that I can also teach AI in Spanish, but that's on me. I need to do a better job of putting it out into the world. I know that eXp has a big, like, I think they're doing like a big Puerto Rico event or something like that. They have a couple Spanish speaking countries. So, yeah, I'm also fluent in Spanish. So if we want to go to overseas to the DR, I know they had a big event in Spain a couple weeks ago or something like that. I'm open to that as well.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And John won't say this, but he is young and energetic, and he still has the passion. A lot of coaches and speakers, after they've done it for so many years, they're like, okay, time to do another one. And they do sometimes see it as a paycheck and an opportunity, and they don't have that passion and that drive. And I think that you're so coachable too and adaptable, and you don't have the ego to deal with. I think that You bring so much value, and he's a beautiful storyteller. So, like, he sat there for and spoke to us for 30 minutes after lunch. Realtors after lunch usually leave, right? Like, we're out the door. We had our free lunch.
Yeah.
So engaging that we were taking pages of notes. We had questions. He told like this awesome story. We were engaged into his personal life somehow. AI and production. And so it's just mind blowing and such a blessing to get to be a business partner with you. I'm going to share that link so they can reach out to you, and I'll also kind of personally introduce you to a few people. But we are so excited to learn from you about AI, implement it, and welcome to eXp Realty.
I'm excited. This is the first of many. And you know what they say, right? It's where the pearls go to grow, right? So that's what kind of sparked the decision. I'm excited to see all the new opportunities and meet all the amazing people.
Awesome. Thank you, John. We'll talk to you soon. Go
Talk
time.
soon.